إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. أما بعد، معاشر الإخوان أحباب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم، أوصي نفسي وإياكم بتقوى الله بقول الله تبارك وتعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أيها المسلمون، أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لقد آتينا لقمان الحكمة أن يشكر لله ومن يشكر فإنما يشكر لنفسه ومن كفر فإن الله غني حميد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Luqman, ayah number 12, and we had certainly give Luqman wisdom and said, be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whoever is grateful for the benefit of himself. And whoever denies his favor, then indeed Allah is free of need and praiseworthy. My brothers and sisters, truly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us such ease in our lives. Have you guys realized that no matter what situation you're in, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you more than you deserve? No matter your financial situation, no matter what job you have right now, no matter what state you are living in, if you are living in this country, you are already the richest 5% of the world. You are richer than 95% of other human beings on this planet. So my brothers and sisters, say Alhamdulillah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has truly given us more than what we deserve. And while the comforts of our lives are a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is easy to fall into complacency and to take these tiny bubbles of comfort that we have in our lives as the reality of the world. And this is the human condition, to get lost in ourselves. This condition of being lost in ourselves is made permanent, is perpetuated through this culture of materialism that promotes a tendency to put material possessions and physical comfort over spiritual values. And this is the culture that we are seduced by daily. It tempts us. And it tempts us every day. It tempts us by feeding our nafs. It tells us to feed our base and our lower desires. And it ultimately allows us to become lost in ourselves. And we become lost in ourselves. Firstly, ourselves fall apart. Then our communities, then our nations, then the entire ummah is in shambles. Because what happens when one begins to get lost in themselves? They don't really look at the reality of the world around them. Most people, they usually accept the cycle of work, sleep, entertainment as the reality of life. They never look beyond that because they are so seduced and so entrenched in this culture of materialism that there's nothing beyond what they see in front of them. And we are comfortable in our lives and we don't see the reality of the world around us because we see these values as unnecessary because we live in a materialistic society. As long as we live in a system that causes suffering for perhaps 95% of other people on this planet, we're fine with it because we have certain comforts. It's not happening to me. As our respected Imam said, it's happening in Syria, it's happening in Libya, it's happening in Iraq, but we are fine. So why should we care? Our lives are fine. And this inherently shows ungratefulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we really don't consider the immense value of these small things that we take for granted every day. Ubaydullah ibn Mihsan reported the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever among you wakes up secure in his property, healthy in his body, and he has food for the day, it is as if he were given the entire world. Subhanallah. If you don't realize that things that you might think are small, like first of all even waking up in the morning, waking up healthy and then having food for the day, then it shows that we are inherently ungrateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we don't actively strive to help those who are in need around the world, then are we truly grateful? And what happens to us when we're not grateful? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Ibrahim, verse number 7, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and remember when your Lord proclaimed, if you are grateful, I will surely increase you in favor. But if you deny, indeed my punishment is severe. How can you be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The realization of the fact that Allah has given you the whole world every single morning. How can we be thankful if this fact does not impel us, does not force us to help those who are less fortunate? And I'm not just saying monetarily. If you're not focused on reviving the state of the ummah from the shambles that is in today, are we truly grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We cannot be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if we are not actively striving to confront the evil that we see with our own eyes. Because truly we'll be asked on the day of judgment, what did you do when you saw evil in front of your eyes? Do you want to know the state of our ummah today? 90 million people, including women and children, are at risk of dying of starvation due to wars ravaging Yemen by their Muslim neighbors. Our so-called Muslim countries are run by oppressive and tyrannical regimes that serve the interests of foreign countries rather than their own people. They're jailing scholars, they're jailing journalists, even killing journalists to shape public policy into accepting their oppressive policies. Egypt elected one democratic leader for the first time in 4,000 years. They finally elected a democratic leader. And what happened to him? Muhammad Mursi. He was in power for a short time. He was overthrown by the military government that he just replaced and was tortured to his death. He died in court on trial. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive him and grant him Jannat al-Firdaus, and may we all meet him in Jannat al-Firdaus. But this is what I'm saying. Our ummah is in shambles not only monetarily, financially, socially, and politically as well. I saw there was this one Muslim country, I'm not going to call them out, but they opened up a halal nightclub. Wow. You ever heard of this? Shaitan must be kicking back thinking, they're doing my work for me, I don't have to do anything. Subhanallah. But you see, our ummah is in shambles not only monetarily, financially, but socially and politically as well. So what can we American Muslims do about it? So these are a few steps that we can take. Well, first, addressing the kids who have their whole lives ahead of them. And I'm addressing myself before I address you all. Speaking to myself before I talk to you all, we have an opportunity to choose a world of careers that can actually uplift our ummah. Is it enough for us to make enough to get by, to make enough to support our families, and then work until we die in comfort and luxury? Is that enough for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? First of all, we need Muslim journalists, Muslim news organizations, and Muslim information spreading platforms to really shape how we are portrayed in the mass media. Because it goes without saying that media informs policy. What is the matter with some people who get their policies from Fox News? Muslim media is essential to revival of the ummah socially, to shape public opinion and indirectly influence political policy. Next, we can directly challenge political policy by entering into the political sphere ourselves. Now, I know it is a stigma in certain communities that, my son or my daughter will never be a politician. There are other real jobs, there's no other real job besides being a doctor or a lawyer or engineer. But my parents and my fellow youths, is your career goal aimed at making the most out of this dunya? Or is your career goal aimed at rewards in the hereafter? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah At-Tawbah, verse 24, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل إن كان آباؤكم وأبناؤكم وإخوانكم وأزواجكم وعشيرتكم وأموال أطرفتموها وتجارة تخشون كسادها ومساكن ترضونها أحب إليكم من الله ورسوله وجهاد في سبيله فتربصوا حتى يأتي الله بأمره والله لا يهدي القوم الفاسقين. Say, O Muhammad sallallahu if your fathers, if your sons, if your brothers, if your wives, if your relatives, wealth which you have obtained, commerce wherein you fear decline, and dwellings with which you are pleased with, are more beloved to you than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger and jihad in His cause, then wait until Allah executes His command. And Allah does not guide the defiantly disobedient people. To those who are older, 18 plus, I'm addressing people who are older than the kids here. I'm telling you right now, there's something that you can do that can really, shape global policy. And that is, it might sound a little cliche, but it is actually to go vote, even in the broken political system that we have today. And I know it's a stigma in certain communities, why should I vote? Lab kita fayda nahi. There's actually immense fayda. We can really shape political policy, especially in the boring elections that no one really pays attention to, like voting for a congressman, voting for legislation. These are actually the votes that really matter. These are the ones who will make our laws and shape our policies and shape foreign policy, how the US interacts with other countries and gives aid and interacts with the Arab world and our Muslim brothers globally. We actually have two Muslim legislators in Congress, Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, who are advocating for policies central to the Ummah. It is their fight in policies against oppressive foreign regimes that very well may save children who are being killed in Palestine. It was because of their actions, it was because of this progressive Congress that allowed the US to withdraw funding for the war in Yemen. And it is this progressive Congress that held us back from baseless wars. My fellow brothers, parents, there is true power and good in participating in your civil societies. Make sure that you exercise your rights as citizens and not just take the resources that this country gives to you. Actively try to save your brothers and sisters around the world by engaging in our political system. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah At-Tawbah verse 38, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا ما لكم إذا قيل لكم انفروا في سبيل الله ثاقلتم إلى الأرض أرضيتم بالحياة الدنيا من الآخرة فما متاع الحياة الدنيا في الآخرة إلا قليل. Oh, you have believed, what is the matter with you that when you are told to go forth in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you adhere heavily to the earth? Are you satisfied with the life of this world rather than the hereafter? But what is the enjoyment of worldly life compared to the hereafter except a very little? أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.